Good morning, Internet. This is the old fat dad, and welcome back to another beautiful day on the Goober Nation gun range. Today I'm excited to bring to you guys a brand new scope from OneLeaf. It is their new fancy schmancy night vision scope. Let's go check it out. So OneLeaf sent me this for free to evaluate, and I have looked at one of their other products in the recent past. It was a clip-on night vision scope. So instead of an all-in-one product, this was something that clipped on to your existing scope. One of the big benefits of that particular model is you could add it to whatever existing scope you already had. I had a couple of big drawbacks though. Two that I can think of off the top of my head is that it made whatever scope you had way bigger and bulkier. And then the other problem was that you were working with two separate optical systems. So whenever you added on that night vision scope onto an already existing scope, you were adjusting two separate systems and trying to get them to line up, and it took a lot of fidgeting to get right. So this is the new product. Oh, that is all-in-one deal from OneLeaf. Here's the box, and I am not a big unboxer. I'm gonna show you the box. That's the box. Comes in a nice box. It's a nice little setup. The thing that matters is the scope. So this thing is all-in-one system, and it really does pretty much anything you could ask for. It's got a giant illuminator with a separate battery system. It's got a range finder on the side. I'm pretty excited to try that out, see how that works. Then it's got the all-in-one optical system here, your scope. And that is on a 30mm tube. And one of the greatest things about OneLeaf products that I've noticed is that out of the box, they include everything you need to get started. Some things I wouldn't even have thought of, but when I say everything, I mean everything. All the batteries were included. We had an SD card. It's got scope rings that come with it that are pretty decent. The scope rings have a little Picatinny on the top so you can mount all your accessories. It's got all sorts of little bits and bobs inside. You've got the little cups for your eye. You've got cords that come with it, all the charging cords and data cords. It's got wrenches, and even had a charger for all of your battery systems at all. So this really is a out of the box, ready to go system. And you know, there's nothing more frustrating to me than to get a product and then have to buy a bunch of stuff to get the product to work. So big thumbs up for them. That's a big plus of buying anything from OneLeaf, this scope included. Now let's talk about maybe one of the biggest downsides for this scope. While it is way more compact than having to add on a separate system, a clip-on to an existing scope, this thing is definitely not a small scope, and it kind of looks like a crazy high-tech cyberpunk scope rifle thing. I'll do a quick comparison. So on my little 1022 here, I've got a rather large scope. This is a Vortex Strike Eagle 5-25, okay? So this is a pig of a scope. Look at the size compared to that OneLeaf. The OneLeaf is a lot bigger and bulkier. It's gonna be a lot heavier. It is just a monster of a scope setup. So do not get this scope if you want something that's compact and easy to tote around. This is probably not the best option for stalking in the woods or going on long hikes to wherever you're hunting. If you're gonna be sitting in a blind or on a bench, or you got a nice tripod set up though, I think this would be just fine sitting on top of pretty much any rifle. Let's see how she shoots. I got my steel set up at 25 yards. We're gonna turn on the, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can do shades. So another drawback here, if you got tinted glasses, you're not gonna be able to see the screen too well, but we're just gonna do what we can do here. See if we can get this thing recording. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You should be able to see what I'm seeing now. And let's shoot 25 yards here and see how she does. Now I already zeroed her in, and if you can see there, the reticle is kind of in the bottom center of the screen. So the reticle moves around a fixed screen instead of on a scope. It always looks, a traditional scope looks like your reticle is always centered, and then it kind of moves around within the view. I don't know, some sort of black magic. But anyways, that kind of black magic doesn't exist here. All right, big square one first. Let's go for the center. Beautiful circle, and all right, not too bad. Now, I spent some time zeroing it. It was a little bit of a process, maybe not super easy to do, fairly intuitive. It involves taking a shot and then aligning the crosshair up to where the bullet hit. In theory, it should give you a one-shot zero. In practice, it took about 10 rounds for me to get pretty close. But we got there, as you can see. Not terrible. 25 yards should be a cakewalk for most 22s. Let's go out to 50. I'm gonna put, I don't know. Let's do 10 or so rounds on a 50-yard target and just see what kind of groups we get, see what it looks like at 50. So when I was shooting at 25 yards, you might have noticed that everything was black and white. Well, to my eyes, the black and white gives me the best contrast. So when I was zeroing it, to be able to see my shots real well, it just worked out a lot better to do it in black and white, which is night mode. So black and white is night mode. Now we're going to 50 yards. I just switched it to daytime mode, which is full color. And I haven't adjusted anything from 25 yards. So we're gonna do a little filming here of what it's like for me to have to adjust everything. Let me see if I can get it to record while I'm doing this. Yeah, there we go, okay. So now I'm gonna move it up to 50 yards and I'm gonna show you guys what it takes to get everything looking good at 50. So I gotta adjust my parallax first until it comes into view. Oop, we just passed it there. Yeah, it looks good right about there. And then I'm gonna zoom in. There's a little dial up top. It is my zoom. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like we're at 8 times zoom. Let's see if we can tone that up. Let's make it a little sharper. All right, it's very sensitive. Okay, there we go. Let's go in a little closer. And there is a bunch of different reticles you can choose from. I chose the square with a dot in the middle, but if you look on the box here, they got a whole list of them. Oh, come on. Why are you doing this to me? Here we go. On the box, you can see all your different reticle choices. So if one of those is more appealing to you, obviously go with that. Oh boy, okay. Get the precision sock set back up there. And let's see if we can put a couple of rounds on the 50-yard target, if I can find her again here. Where is she? Okay, there she is. We're just gonna go right in the center, and I'm gonna back it up just a smidge. I can see my whole target easier. Okay, here we go. Right, so the reticle really is, the one I chose is good for the distance we're working at here. Oh, if you notice too, I had the rangefinder going. It should have been in the upper right-hand corner telling us our range as we went. You can see whether I'm a liar about that being at 50 yards or not. I kind of, actually, that is a neat feature for you guys that are YouTubers that want to scope, and you get all your viewers complaining that you're only shooting at 25 or 10 yards. You can show them what you're actually shooting at with the little rangefinder, which is nice. Anyways, I digress. The reticle seemed to work real good as far as being able to put it right where you want it and keeping it consistent. Let's take a look at what kind of group we got. I was going to show you guys one 50-yard group, but I'm going to show you a bunch because I had a couple of issues. So here's my first guy right there. And then I said, oh, you know what, I'm going to try and adjust this. So I made some adjustments, and there's my second group right there. As you can see, not quite to my point of aim yet. And I thought, I must be doing this backwards. Something's not right. So I went and did another set of adjustments, and I tried something different. Well, same point of aim, and we came out way over there. So things are not looking quite right. If you can notice, we're off to the left and right both times, but we're consistently about the same level low on everything. So I said, I'm going to try one more thing. So I made some more adjustments, put it up there, and I shot a really good group. So the nice thing is I think my gun's warming up. I don't know why I'm getting such crappy groups, but I'm finally starting to get decent groups here. But again, as you can see, we are low. So I'm gonna take you back to the table and give you my theory on that. Even after setting the zero 3-4 times now, I can't quite get the elevation right. We are consistently low every time. And I think for my last adjustment here, the one in the upper left-hand corner, which is a sweet group, the windage is right. I feel like I got the windage good, but my elevation is still off. So what I noticed as I was just doing that last zero, and I can't record it, unfortunately, it's not letting me record while I'm doing the zeroing, is that there is a X and a Y value that it actually shows you where you are X and Y on the screen as you're adjusting the reticle. And the Y value bottoms out. And even though I'm spinning the dial to adjust it, it's not changing. And I couldn't see that at first. It's kind of tucked into the bottom and I wasn't really paying attention. But it looks like whatever the adjustment range in the scope, I have it bottomed out, which is kind of a bummer because, you know, I'm not doing anything crazy here. This is a pretty close range 22. It shouldn't be stretching the limits of any scope really, but we seem to have bottomed this one out. I've got 5 rounds left in here. I'm gonna take it out to 100. We'll see how we do here. Might have to do a couple of sighters. And then just to see what the picture's like and what our adjustments are like, setting it up for 100. And then I'm gonna go out to like 180 and 200. And I'm not gonna shoot, I'm just gonna take a look at the targets and we'll see how hard it is to kind of get adjusted and looking good at those distances. So let's go for 100 first. Let's see if we can get on target here. So I'm already shooting a little bit low. Let's see if I can hit here. Nope. There we go. So I put the dot right at the top of the target. Looks like I can hit it. Let's see here. Zoom in a little bit more. Huh. Well, might have been a fluke there at 100 yards. We did not get very good results there. So 1 shot out of 5. I'm gonna back up our zoom and let's look at 180. So there's our 100 yards, and I believe this is 180, and I can't really see my rangefinder. Where is my? That's 200. I thought I had a plate out at. I do have a plate out there. Where is it? Oh, that is it. Okay. Everything's kind of washed out from my view here. The sun's really shining down there. But there is a white plate right there, I'm pretty sure. Is it showing up as 180? No, it's showing up as 44 yards. Promise you, it's really 180. The rangefinder is off to the side here, so I don't know if it's hitting something else. There's a way to adjust it. I have not done the adjustments yet, though. And no, I'm not getting any good results there. Let's see what the 200 looks like. So there's 200. You can see my gong out at 2. That's a pretty good picture out at 200. And I don't really have to, from 100 to 200, it looks like we don't really have to mess around with the parallax, the focus too much, so that's nice. But it's a pretty decent picture out there. So optically and digitally, picture is not bad. Zooming in, it actually is giving me a better picture than I expected. Now that we've messed around in the daytime though, the part that probably matters the least to you folks who are interested in the scope, we gotta go next to the nighttime and see how she does in the evening. So let's go to Old Fat Dad at night. Here we are. It is now nighttime. Well, almost nighttime. We're in the deep twilight. We've got the good old Commander NV400 back with us. I think I'm gonna try they have a twilight mode. We're gonna try that real quick, take a couple of shots of the area, and we're back on a soccer field. We're kind of in the middle of a big bowl. You can go ahead and pan around, camera person. It'll give us a good range here to see what kind of distance we can pick up a good picture with. And yeah, let's see what the twilight mode does, and then when the sun sets a little bit more, we'll do a true night vision mode. Oh, quick, one thing, there's a little flip-up cap, and I neglected to put it down when I was recording during the day. That was my goof up, and I will say that I got some better images with the cap down, so it was my bad. Remember to do that if you get one of these. Daylight mode, cap down, night vision, cap up. All right, let's get started. Okay, here's our shot in daylight mode, and this is the same twilight that we just were in here. So we're getting an actually really good picture in the low light time of night here. Let me switch to twilight mode. Well, let me do that while I'm recording. Yep, there we go. So this is called twilight or starry light mode. And oh, we got my rangefinder going here as well, so we can see how far away she is. Crossing the 50-yard line, I'd say, right about now. We're zooming in a little bit as we go. Sorry for the shakiness. So this is pretty darn decent there. When she hits the goalpost, that's going to be our 100-yard line there. And I'm still getting a really good view. So that's starlight mode. No form of illumination here. This is true twilight, and it's showing up pretty good. Showing up pretty good. All right, there she is at about, she's going to be about 100 yards now. Now it's really dark out here. There's the last little bit of sunshine over there in that back corner, but everything else around here is pitch black. I'm actually sweeping you around. There's a couple of little lights from houses nearby, but definitely in the dark now. Let me turn off my light here. We are pretty much pitch black. So we're gonna turn on night mode now and see how this light does. I'm gonna run the night mode with the illuminator and without it, and give you guys an idea what you can expect here. Okay, we are in night mode now, and we have our lovely camera person out there walking out to the 100-yard line, and this is without an illuminator. You can see we are picking up a good bit of light from that house down there, but here we are in the darkness. Let's turn on the illuminator, and wow, that makes a big difference. So that is the illuminator, and it is adjustable as far as the intensity and the location. As you can see, I'm kind of moving it around to illuminate my target. This is the biggest, the top illumination. So this is high. Where'd I go? I lost you. There it is. Okay. So we can go down to medium here. So this is medium illumination. And then you can see the dog running around a little bit. There is a low. And really, at 100 yards, it looks like the low is going to be plenty. Let me see if I can dial in my focus. It looks like we're just a little bit out of focus here. We are now at 100 yards. I'm a little bit better in focus. This is the lowest illumination setting, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see what kind of picture we can get. I mean, that is not bad as far as being able to identify something and having it illuminated at 100 yards. I say that's pretty darn good. She is sitting at the goal line, and we're actually a little bit behind the goal line, so I think it's more like 120, 115 yards. Not too terrible. Let's see if we can find the dog. That was pretty easy. Let's see. There he is. So there's our dog, probably close to 100 yards. He's a little white wiener of a dog, not a big dog at all. So to wrap up our review of the Commander NV400 by oneleaf.ai, really good all-in-one scope. Everything you need out of the box, ready to go. You can do everything night vision-wise with the scope that you need to do, and you don't have to buy anything else. You get it all in one fell swoop, which makes for a little bit of a heavy scope. You know, so don't expect to go tromping around with this thing. It's not going to be comfortable. A couple of other nitpicks. The screen is good, but the information on the screen is tiny, tiny letters, so it makes trying to figure out what's going on hard. Sometimes I wish they had either magnified it or just put less information, or maybe put it on a app you can put on a mobile device with a Bluetooth connection. And then the other thing that was really a problem was the adjustments. So when I was trying to zero the scope, I couldn't quite dial that elevation in. Not really sure what was going on there, haven't figured that out yet. So that's my nitpicks, but everything else seems to be pretty darn good. The image quality was great. We got out to beyond 100 yards. Everything looked great. The illuminator is plenty bright for that distance. You could probably go out to 200 yards with this thing without a problem. So all in all, a pretty good package, minus those couple little nitpicks. And that's all I've got for you tonight. Thanks for watching it. We'll see you next time.